This is 𝗃_CEM with Golden Butter Sports, and I'm here to let that butter spread. And I want to talk about why the Dallas Cowboys will make the playoffs. Oh, to you stinky, rotten, hateful, ugly, nasty, low down, and hellbound Cowboy haters. Of course, you know I'm just kidding around. I mean that in the sports sense. Nothing personal about that. But to you Cowboy haters, this is bad news for you. And to the Cowboy lovers, this is good for you, hopefully. So let's get off into it. Why the Cowboys will make the playoffs. And some of these will be very obvious. And the first one, and quite obvious one, is that the Dallas Cowboys defense will carry this team to the playoffs. Defense travels, and it's going to have to. Defense can go in anybody's stadium and shut a team down. It can go into the playoffs and win playoff games. It can go into bad weather and win playoff games. Defense can do that for you. When you can stop the other team from moving the ball, scoring the ball, and doing anything with the ball, you can pretty much beat anybody. Now, does the Cowboys have that kind of team on defense? Do they? Well, that's yet to be seen, but the way it looked last year, and this is with the injuries, they were pretty good even with the injuries. Now, they when they suffered the injuries, they were pretty middle of the pack. But boy, when they had their stuff together and everybody was healthy, it was hard to move against the Dallas Cowboys. It really was. Now, having said that, you have that defense with Micah Parsons, and we just saying barring injury now, barring injury. Let's just say the Dallas Cowboys stay completely healthy on their defense, which that's almost impossible to think of. Somebody's on the defense going to get hurt. But let's just say they keep the core. Let's just say Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons and then some. Let's say Leighton Vander Esch can keep his neck on straight. Amen. We don't want his neck rolling around, his head rolling around, and he worrying about his neck all the time. And let's say Tank Lawrence is Tank Lawrence. And I'm talking about the dominating Tank Lawrence. It is going to be a problem for offenses. And plus, on top of that, you do have some more pass rushers on that team. You also have better cornerbacks on that team now. You really do. So now, with that being said, the Dallas Cowboys will make the playoffs because of their defense. And, you know, we could go up and down the line about Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland and Israel McQuamu, and you signed a former defensive MVP and things like that. But just know the Dallas Cowboys defense will carry this team, and that will be the main reason why they make the playoffs. Now, the other one is Dak Prescott. Yeah, I said that. Dak Prescott will be better this year, and he better be. He's going to have to be. And the reason why he has to be is because everybody is looking at him to have a bounce back year from the 15 overblown interceptions that he had. And I've told you in another podcast, when the Dallas Cowboys do something bad, it is glorified and overblown. And Dak Prescott had 15 interceptions, and a lot of those interceptions were not his fault. But a lot of them were. Quite a few of them were, but not all of them. But he will be better this year, and he's going to have to be. He has Michael Gallup fully healthy, you know, as a third wide receiver. And then you have Brandon Cooks. You have the over-the-top guy. They didn't have that kind of speed last year. They just did. Now they do. And then you have CeeDee Lamb. Now, I don't know what they're going to do about the tight ends, but the tight ends, okay, they may not need the tight ends as much now. And the reason why is because of the new offense that they've installed now, the West Coast offense, which is you have split backfields with the West Coast offense, and those running backs come out of the backfield, and you can easily throw the ball to them now. Now, I ain't talking about just dump off passes. I'm talking about throwing it on the run to him. Now, if Dak Prescott is going to be better this year, he's going to have to hit these guys on the run. His footwork is going to have to be good. Now, it doesn't have to be Joe Montana good, because if it's Joe Montana good, they win in the Super Bowl, okay? Because Joe Montana had great feet. Ask the late Bill Walsh. Ask him. Joe Montana had great feet. Now, Dak Prescott is nowhere near Joe Montana. But if he's anything like it, come close to it, the Dallas Cowboys will make the playoffs. Which brings me to the next point. The Dallas Cowboys will make the playoffs because they have a new offensive coordinator. The last time the Green Bay Packers won a Super Bowl, the offensive coordinator was the head coach. Well, who was the head coach for the Green Bay Packers? It was Mike McCarthy. He carried that team with the offensive play call. Now, Aaron Rodgers doesn't like him now, as much. But ask Aaron Rodgers how many times he's won a Super Bowl without Mike McCarthy. Go ahead. Yeah. I say that in Aaron Rodgers' face, too. I ask him that, in a respectful way. I ask him, say, man, when the last time you won a Super Bowl? They'll tell you when it was with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is going to be the offensive coordinator, and he's going to make subtle changes to where Kellen Moore could not make those changes. That is going to be a big-time improvement. You better hope it will be, Mike. And so, Mike McCarthy as the offensive coordinator will improve the offense, the system. Now, keep this in mind before I even go any further. Mike, coach, don't go for it on 4th and 9 at your own 30-yard line. Punt the ball, brother. Don't get in a panic, brother. Punt the ball. Play field position, man. And because as we said, you have a defense now that can shut people down. That's what we're hoping for. And so you have a defense that can clog up the middle. We're hoping that Mozzie Smith and Jonathan Hankins can clog up the middle. And then Michael Parsons can do his thing on the edge. So you don't have to go for it on 4th and 9 at your own 35 and all that. Punt the ball, man. Punt it. Play defense. You never know. The defense might get you some turnovers. You do have ball hogs and ball hogs in that secondary. And plus on top of that, you have good safety play. That's the reason why you signed these safeties. Because at one point in time, we didn't care anything about safeties. Now you find out safeties are very important now in the secondary. You have to have them. And they have them. So now, the Dallas defense, Dak Prescott will be better, and he has to be. He has a better offensive coordinator and a better offensive system, and the running backs will be used out of the backfield more often. And they do have the type of running backs that can cause problems out of the backfield. Now, I don't have many positives about the Dallas Cowboys making the playoffs because it's a little bit more challenging. It's easier to be more negative about them not making the playoffs. But I'm here to tell you they can make the playoffs, especially if they get Zach Martin back and that offensive line solidifies. They can be a playoff team. Now, I didn't say anything about Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just the playoff. They might make it to the NFC Championship game. They might. And the reason why they'll make the playoff is because they still better than any team in their division. Yeah, I said that. Philadelphia. Why you think you made it past Dallas? You made it past Dallas because Dallas had injuries. And you got a couple of games up on Dallas. But keep this in mind. Dak Prescott does not fear anybody in that division. And that includes you, Philadelphia. He doesn't fear you at all. The Dallas Cowboys fears no one in that division. And Dallas can win that division. Philadelphia, you better not be caught slipping. Because if you do, Dallas will surpass you again. So don't get it twisted. Dallas can and will make the playoffs because of these reasons. Let me know what you guys think. Will the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs? I believe they can. If the defense is right, if Dak Prescott is better with the new offensive coordinator, and they are still better than any team in the division. Yeah, I said that. So let me know what you guys think. This is 𝗀, 𝗂𝗋 with Golden Butter Sports. Let that butter spread.